Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for tuning in. I am just going to give this intro a little spin. Welcome to another episode of Secret Code Oracles. So what that is, in case you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back here. And if you're new here, welcome still. But soap opera. Oh, I did look at this. There's so many names and so many things. I have to be like, what is this? Secret code oracles. So what that is you, the viewer, on whatever platform you view me on, the one that you would find this opportunity on would be mentioned here and also on Instagram. And you can find me on Instagram at Enchantress, E-N-C, E like elephant, N like Nancy, C like cat, H like Harry, A like apple, N like Nancy, T like Tom, R like Robert, E like elephant, S like Sam, S like sex. Hey, so Enchantress, hey, on Instagram. And there you have the opportunity to pay attention to when I post the question in my stories, asking you to submit your secret code oracle to. Your identity always remains anonymous and held and kept secret. But when you do submit your question does become public. And when I respond back, I give you a secret code oracle, secret code that will be our reference. Right, a secret code that will be our secret code reference. But instead of, revealing your identity or, making you feel a certain kind of way, because I know me, real, part of like when, there are people out there for real, I used to have strong resistance to participate or comment on someone else's stuff because I'm just a very private person. I don't want people all up in my mix. So once I make my presence clear or here, people pay attention. You hear, like, you know what I mean? And the same is for you. You're here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk through, everybody's looking at you. Even when you feel like you may look like shit, whatever the case may be, you feel like crap and everything, there's some kind of light to your radiant energy that everybody looking at you. Even when they acting like they're not. We already got over that one. Like, yeah. Even when they're acting like they're not, all attention be on what you be doing. You see. So anyway, so privacy is important to me, and just because of the alignment of work that I do, I just honor people's right to that. And who the fudge will I be to publicize your information? You know what I mean? That's just how people do that to me. So trust, right? In knowing that it's a compassion, breeds of seeds that we're sowing, that we're creating through our knowing. And when you know better, you do better. And whatever the case is. Anyway, that was a long little babble rant. But anyway, so, or you can submit to enchantressbabbler@gmail.com your secret code oracle question. I will email you back when I do your secret code oracle reference. And when I get to it, I get to it. And then I will upload it. And if I have your contact information in any kind of way, when your video is shared and uploaded, I will alert you privately on, whatever the case may be. But it will be a public video shared on my YouTube channel. That's me. Yeah. So if that interests you, then clearly you know and heard what you gotta do. All the information will be in the description box too. So it's all on you. I'm not gonna chase you. I don't need to answer anything. If you don't want to submit it, don't submit it. But for those of you that have and do and continue to, patience won't be needed for me because I get to things and I get to things and I'm to without any pressure from me, who could be overly critical and demanding of myself, to realize I gotta pace myself. So, you know, that's what's up. So that's good. And so, yeah, so this episode, I do not know which episode it is, so I'm not going to say the number. But it will be in the description and in the title once it is uploaded. And reference. So the last secret oracle. I believe this is episode 5. But if it's not, I apologize. But what is a system? Anyway, this is something that we're creating to be efficient upon while we're here. So we can change it and learn from it and be clear, you know, be astute. But yeah, so either way, so today's episode of Secret Code Oracle will be that I think so far I'm going to start with Diamond. Diamond, thank you for your patience. I'm sure you submitted your question quite some time ago. Okay, he's like the turtle, the tortoise, the tortoise. And I guess, you know, because I be rocking it out, and I hope this audio is clear for you to receive this too. But, you know, if you do follow me in certain kind of degrees, you see my love for animals, you know what I mean? And apparent and very kind of things. So I work a lot with spirit animals and tortoise and turtle, like speed. And so that immediately was just like jumped out at me when I was saying it absentmindedly to you in regards to my pace towards getting to your video, Simon. So I make no apologies, but yet I am thankful for your patience to my turtle like speed in getting to your Secret Code Oracle episode. And so thank you. All right, Diamond. So yeah, so we're just gonna pretty much go in. I'm gonna pause this for a moment because I'm getting your like this channeling and all this kind of stuff. Going through this cards before I turn this on and start shuffling for you. I just like whenever I pick up a new thing, a new thing, a new tarot that I wasn't using prior to turning on the record, hitting the record. I go through every oracle and tarot before. Like I guess you know, I'm a little bit OCD. I align everything naturally because I like to just reset things for a new phase. So, but either way, whether I do it or not, it's always still going to be pretty motherfucking accurate. So I welcome you here. I don't know your leveling or depth with tarot. I'm not going to presume to know that information. Hold on, please. This will be my alchemy. Hello, welcome back. So clearly there was a brief pause as now it's a new day. And I'm back here to deliver the messages in every kind of way and to get back to Diamond, which is you, and your question too that you submitted and have been so patiently waiting to receive your episode, you know what I mean? But it's interesting. So without pulling anything and then jumping back and going back into time, yesterday when I started your video and then I got interrupted, and the interruption took all the rest of the time I had to do this video before I had to do other things that were scheduled, you know what I mean? Workflow. And so the opportunity that I have now is, I prepared, did my morning rituals and stuff and took care of the animals and all this kind of stuff. And now I come back to this space, this place to return to your reading, right? I have yet to read your questions, so I am, just for those that are tuning in, tapping in, turning on, and receiving the mana that is here for all, even though this message is for you based off of the question that you submitted to. But that's the beauty of this, because we're all in this abyss of life. And although each of us are individuals, that's right, and we each have our own lives and experiences and all this kind of stuff, like minds, especially when you begin to continuously align in your truth and your alchemy and all these things too, you're going to draw to you that, like moths to a flame, that which is energies that could be helpful together when and working together to help one another prosper in every kind of way, in our own kind of unique way, which is interesting. But I'm going to read your question. So for those that are tuning in too, so it's Diamond, your question for this read is, within a few months I have to move. Should I get my own place or move back with family? Right? So within a few months I have to move. Should I get my own place or move back with my family? And okay, so just, I'm gonna go in, Diamond, okay? And so it is going to be how I channel and be. I don't really need cards to read anything. And read for people in any kind of way. Even though I use them, I'm drawn to them. I have always been drawn to using, different divination tools. These are not the only things that I use or that I'm drawn to, or how else I receive and stuff like that. So, it's an open channeling and stuff like that for a lot of things. So I'm feeling a lot of things, Simon. And just so that we're clear to everyone here else that's tuning in, I don't know you. I don't know anything about your life. And that's just right. I've never given you a reading before, or I don't know anything about your business or anything like that. So, I'm just gonna go and, take with it as you will. And if you have any questions behind the scenes to ask, and if you want to book a reading with me to go even dive in deeper more, then, that's cool too, and stuff like that, or whatever. But I'm not gonna presume to know your leveling of depth to understanding to the cards, but I am going to speak it how I speak it, and that's it. And whatever it may be. But like, I'm just feeling like, so it's like a conflicted kind of energy. It's just like, it's just like a drawing back of positioning, right? And I have two decks here in front of me, right? And I was, before I had gotten disrupted yesterday, and I was doing the intro, I was, connecting with the cards that I was going to use for your reading. And then when I sat here and now, I grabbed another deck too, which is my soul truth cards, right? And then I shuffled or whatever. And then now, as I'm talking to you even more, I look down and it says, do I know all of my strengths, and am I using them? Right, which goes into the energy that I know you're asking a question, and a specific one, and we'll go in, but patience with me is this kind of evolutionary spin, because I'm all about all of us going in for our win, and there's no shortcut to that manifestation of success that we desire to achieve for ourselves And, you know, so detailing is required in order to further help ourselves, especially when we're not fully equipped or evolved in our own understanding of our own behavioral patterns and conditioning that we are intuitively being guided through. You get what I'm saying? Because the fact that you even submitted a question tells me you're deeper than most who don't even see the question. You see what I'm saying? So that tells me that you are deep in certain kind of ways, and you find yourself at this fork in this road, right? And so the feeling for me, even before seeing this card when I looked down before, was I get the line of questioning, because change can lead to so many things. And how secure are we in our own ability to be successful in that which we desire to achieve, or do we postpone and take the route, like, I don't want to say easy route, but that's what's coming to mind, like in terms of comfortability, right? Because before I got interrupted yesterday, before I started your reading, the image that came to my mind is giving you scenarios to both scenarios at each time, if you were to pick one road here or pick one road here, because I'm never going to tell you what to do, dear. You know, that's not why we are here. We are evolutionists, we are solutionists, and we are the light. You are the light. You are the leader in your own life, and we're here to help one another to reach and feel supported on our journey as we achieve in full alignment the best that we can bring to act upon in our own lives and journey, reaching our fullest potential, activating truth and wisdom, and no longer operating off of fears and conditioning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place when all you have seen up until this point is kind of like disappointments or things not working out, panning out, and having that fallback of security that is dependable. You know what I mean? But is it worth, I hear, like the aggravation or the interruption too? So like yesterday when I got interrupted, it made me think of you. Like if you were in a household back with like your family too, you, the light shining bright for many, no matter how you feel about no matter how you feel about yourself, like pushing all of that like aside, for many you help in some kind of light. And so you go back to that place, and with a plan in mind and space, but how deliberate and clear are you with this plan you hear? Because it's like Temptation Island. It's like going back to a place of dwelling that you know can trigger you in ways that can cause you to feel certain type of ways, but hey, security is stabilizing your mind, keeping you peaceful at this time, to know that at least you have somewhere to put your head at night. Like, you get what I mean? Like, so it's like, to the question like that jumps up in this is, do you know all your strengths, and are you using them? Right? So it's like we all have superpowers, but it is up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in our zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. Ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul's gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? So, like, I just feel like there's flip sides to this whole entire fork in the road of path that you take, and neither will be wrong for you, But it's like, what change are you trying to invoke in you, and how clear are you with you in regards to like what you're trying to create for yourself and do? Like, what routine are you, right? Look at the bottom of the deck. What routine are you creating for yourself that is practical, that you need to be patient for, right? And responsible about and persistent on, right? Because this development, so you could be working on your money, you could be working on your security, you could be working on your stability, you working, making profit, like, getting back into the zone of like feeling, ambitious, maybe even that. I'm not saying that you weren't feeling, but having this spark of inspiration. Like, where is your spark of inspiration within your whole United Nations that is creating the push, the drive that you need at this time to do what it is, and any insecurity that's coming up too at this time that is making you question your stance and your position and your power, to address that too at this time, right? Because potential here is, you look at, that's Ace of Pentacles too. So there's potential for abundance, but you got to work on your routine. All right. So any kind of fear, false evidence appearing real, right? In regards to why you wouldn't be able to make it on your own first, instead of having to go back to this, right? Or making the plan from where you are now, right? Making the decision of what you're going to do. Either way, the decisions that you have to make requires you to move. Either way, you have to move. But in both scenarios, still you have to save, still you have to budget, still you have to figure out what you're going to do in that kind of way, unless you're trying to take the least responsible way. Where, okay, if I go over here, right, then I have more money for here and stuff like that. But are you thinking long-term or short-term goals? So it's like Spirit saying, okay, now we're activating the accountability, responsibility part of our own lives. Both paths lead to something bright, as long as you continue to push and create, right? Look, a choice that has to be made, right? So you have this Two of Wands, right? So you have two paths here, right? You have two paths, decisions, right? Planning and to do, right? But your fear of change, right? And indecisiveness is creating a resistance to the two options that you have here, because there is some kind of disappointment that has created a like let's say insecurity or blockage, or something, right? So balance, peace, patience, right? But there is an addiction, depression, mental health. So it's in your mind too. The things that you tell yourself in regards to, so look at it like this. So it's like, oh, this is a good example. If, let's say, you chose to live on your own and it didn't work out, you always could go back home. This you already know. So what is the fear of branching out on your own? You see, and I'm not like, again, I don't know your financial situation. I don't know, like, oh, hold on. Right? Astute, right? So honest, right? Protective, Queen of Swords energy, right? Yeah, it's like, right. So whatever money you have coming in, you just have to be truthful with yourself about, candid, like, but look at this, the Queen of Swords, either way, like, even though whether you're male or female, diamonds, okay, right? But I know what you need. But, either way is the balancing out of independence. You know what I mean? And so let's say you do decide to just go and be with your family, right? As opposed to setting out on your own. I get this double card kind of energy where you are going to be tempted with certain kind of mental obsession too, in regards to your position there, your mental health, And I don't know what kind of household too you come from, but there are certain things that can lead to a depression, you know what I mean, that could be triggered, or feeling powerless, hopeless, like, or not empowered as a masculine feminine energy. Like, you know, it's just like, okay, it's like emasculating in some kind of way, you know what I'm saying, Diamond? And creating like this excess, like, you know, of lack of perspective too, you know. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I'm not saying that on your own you won't have this worry or failure. You can still have failure, but maybe that's not the way that you're supposed to look at it, perceive it, because either way, at the end of the day, you always have this other option of home. So the question that I feel like is really coming up is like, why would you deny yourself the try to do? Don't try, do, right? To see if you can do. This is the testament of you, the test of you to move, believing in yourself. And even if all fails, in the back and the root of your know and your truth is, I can always fall back on this family dynamic that I do have. But why does that have to only be my only option at this time when I'm at this fork in the road? So what's my real reason that creates this blockage for me of just working on my own independence and believing in myself, unless I am now being triggered to address that aspect of myself that does not believe in me, does not believe in myself or my ability or my capability, or maybe I just want to break from life, you see, in terms of responsibility. But if that's the case too, right, then that's cool. So you're going into this new choice that you're making confident. Give yourself a timetable, timestamp. I'm only going to be here for 6 months. In those 6 months, right, I will have saved this X amount of dollars so that I can move and go on my way. But in this 6 months, I am recalibrating, I am recuperating, I am healing, I am, you know, saving more, I am, you know, making plans, I'm sticking to my plans, I'm motivated, I already know that in this household too, I might be triggered in certain kind of ways to feel a certain type of way. And since I'm conscious of that in every kind of way, then all I'm going to say is that I'm going to navigate consciously, knowing that this is my 6-month plan, you know what I mean? And that no matter the outcome, I am set, because reliable I am, responsible I am, accountable I am for this path that I'm choosing. And I'm giving myself the healing amount of time to just not have to be so head of the household at this time. Like, I'm gonna take a break a little bit at this time. And you have every fucking right. Like, you know, it's this stationary life of conditioning that will shame people for having to restart again. To you know, thankfully you have a place to go back to. Okay. It's gonna be 17 this year. But like, I just feel like there may be depression and some mental health things, but you know, and I'm not lightening your stress, or you know, or making it, I'm not dismissive of it, as we all have these obsessions and depressions and inner feelings and stuff like that, and insecurities. And can I make it on my own? Can I, like, will I, can I just catch a fucking break? Like, you know what I mean? Or, you know, certain kind of times we need to just be able to heal. So it's about the perspective, for real. and looking at this opportunity of these two choices that you have, that you have a choice to make. That's abundance. Some people don't have a choice. Some people don't have family to be able to fall back on, and some people don't even have the money to move. So their back is against the wall, right? And I'm not trying to compare and contrast and say, oh, you know, like you should, because this is serious too. You have choices to make too, and this is your fork in the road, and it's important to you. And I'm not dimming that. It is very important to you, and I'm not trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is the perspective way of evolution, of how you can begin to feel prosperous, know your abundance, realize your strengths, utilize that strength that you have and that power you have. Because I feel like you're in a position of power right now, honestly. With like, as I continue talking about it right now to you, Diamond, I just feel like you have choices that are abundant and secure. If you're able to have the opportunity to be independent and free, then please play this back and really get to know your truth of all the insights provided in regards to what would prevent you from wanting to feel independent and being independent too, or just getting into your alignment alchemy of truth that you need at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Because clarity is the seed of greed that will lead to the alchemy of alignment based off of your understanding of your understanding, so that you can overstand, right? And build your kingdom according to your truths and alchemy. But if you're in disagreement, inner disharmony, that's what these kind of things are for, to help you gain that clarity for yourself. I'm not going to ever tell anybody what to do, right? So some kind of spiritual transformation, death cycle too, new beginnings, letting go, right? Endings, and this change, so this transition that's coming your way, right? And you can expect certain unexpected upheaval. This is not, I'm not saying this is going to be easy. I'm not saying any of these decisions here that you have right now to choose from is easy. I don't feel like it's going to be easy. But both options are options, and both options can be activated. So the question here is not, should I? Is what the fuck do I want? And what will I do for myself at this time? Let me get honest and truthful about that, so that way this doesn't feel out of whack, and I can attend to that. Let me get to my truth at that. Let me transform this thought and really see, right, the pros and the fucking cons to both options you see, and then weigh out everything. It's like that Libra aspect of justice, right? Let me weigh out my pros and cons, because obviously there's pros and cons to both situations here. Now, which pros and cons, which weight do I want to be activating at this time that I'm ready for? And before even deciding that and seeing it quick, see the opposition too, like, why don't I pick this, and get to the truth of that too, so that at least there's real clarity as to why you feel like, this is why I'm gonna go this way, because I don't feel ready for this way. Because at the end of the day, the energy you feel is going to be the energy you create. And so if you can get into your consciousness for real of activating that truth potential, then at least no matter what choice you make and decision you make, you're doing it consciously, and that is alchemy. Because you're at least being honest with yourself in why you're choosing the path that you're choosing. And if you can transform the lack thereof, or the humility, or the letting go of the pride, or the shame of how you feel about each aspect of the pro and con of going this way or going that way, letting go of that judgment, because that's just part of our conditioning. That doesn't make it true. I've had to have in my personal, I'm not comparing and contrasting, but I'm sharing because we're here. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm an adult here, and I'm like, I don't want to go back home here, but home is always something I can. But the times that I chose something else instead because I didn't want to go back there, and then the times that I went back there, and then going back there motivated me more to get the fuck out of there. And within 3 months, I was fucking out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, whatever's gonna spark that spark, let it be. But don't let fear be the ruler of your decisions when you're choosing this. You know what I mean? Because you have an abundant choice option here, because it's still a choice. You're here, so it's, look, building the emotional intelligence, right? King of Cups style, right? There's like that word, being mature about your decisions, right? Calm about your decisions, right? Wise about your decision making skills, right? Being diplomatic and balanced in your decision making skills, and being clear about it too, and devoted, because you're very, you know, you have a generous spirit. You're family oriented in every kind of way, but that might also lead to more responsibilities, like, that you might not want to activate. That's what I heard. As in, like, everybody needing you to do something for them. I don't know, you know? And yeah, look at conflict, or just temperaments in a household. So look at this. Like, so this is amongst others. There may be conflict, fighting, arguments, and things like that, like disagreement, struggle, like opposition, battles, or just different vibrations and energies, egos, strikes, chaos, unruliness, being defensive, being territorial, like, you know, like things like that. And so, yeah, so even if you were to choose that, going into that consciously, knowing that that's there, and before entering that environment, saying, I'm not going to participate that. I don't live there, although I'm here. So I'm consciously seeing, I am aware of what's happening here, and so I'm not going to be taken off guard, and I don't need to get my defenses up. The conflict and energy that is existing in that atmosphere has nothing to do with me, although it's projecting onto me, or I become this need, like they need me, people need you, like, you know, and that could be draining too. So, you know, these are pros and cons that you can write down. So, like, literally, like, don't ask someone for an opinion or a reading and all this kind of shit, and then depend or rely or give the reins to your life to their advice or, like, info shared. Like, this is for you to do. Like, nobody can do this for you. The decision, too. So, literally, write down on a piece of paper. Like, don't say, and then don't do. Like, that's wasteful energy too. Like, then what the fuck is the point of me being here, you know, and giving this message to you if you really had no intention of activating your power, your strength, your ability to decide, choose, and act wise for yourself, because that's the wisdom that's always going to help, because that's what's up. You got a lot of things to do, a lot of things, seeing like a big changes, opportunities, right? Look at this Knight of Swords energy, right? Jumping in, departure, right? Right? But don't be so impulsive either in your decision making, and don't feel like poverty. Okay, so money could be a concern in a lot of temporary financial hardship, right? Negative change in circumstances, feeling left out in the cold, right? So you know, financial loss, recession, feeling the world is against you, adversity, struggle, and these are things that, let's say, now this is like a pro, right? I'm helping you with your pros and your cons here so that you can start feeling inspired about writing this list of your pros and your cons here, so you can choose and decide for yourself. Okay, like, so moving back home with the family, if you are not yet financially confident, that's how I want to use it, because there's no lack of here. It's just financial confidence. So it's working on perspective too. you know, certain kind of things too, because sometimes you could be in a job or something like that that may not be every day or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, or a certain kind of consistency or a certain pay raise or pay rate or something you're waiting for that you think that that's going to be the, that's it. And until I get that, then all of this other stuff can't work or something like that. And you know what I mean? Or I'm not going to be able to find something. So, or it could be thinking negatively with a budget, you see, like, you know, this is my budget and I don't see me finding anything that's going to meet my budget at this time. Or if I do, it's going to be like something else, like, you know. So it's just it's lack-minded thinking of a certain kind of feeling of adversity and struggle that is really apparent and real in many people's lives, like, you know, and improvements that need to be made, and or mindsets that need to be activated, shifted, and changed, like, you know, over the hardship, and having this positive mindset to come in takes time. It takes fucking time. That's just the realness of it. So, like, let's say now, if that is the state of being and all this kind of stuff, like, you know, I'm doing this freestyling and with no introductions from you or input from you, so I'm going with all scenario systems, you know what I'm saying? So take with it as you will in regards to that, you know, your position, you know, your information, you know, this kind of stuff, you know. But do let me know what's up if once you hear it and stuff like that. I know that these are secret code oracles and everything and stuff like that, and the whole part of this is keeping our identities, you know, sacred, and, you know, this is anonymous and all that kind of stuff. But so public responding, I'm not expecting from anyone, but y'all do know how to contact me. You know what I'm saying? So if there's something more that you want to input and stuff like that, this is, you know, about this is a two-way street here. You know, the more that you open and the more that you share, the more that I can go in and dive there, because I'm always going to mind my business out here. I learned that in this, you know, 40 plus years of life, right? So, but, so I'm just giving it as these scenarios of these pros and cons, because that's what I say. I say a fucking piece of paper. Get that fucking piece of paper. Okay, pros and cons about each one. And then really, so it's like I see two sheets of paper. One paper folded in half, right? Folded in half, right? Down the middle, like school when we did spelling tests and all that kind of shit too, right? Folded in half. Pro on one side, pro on the other side. Underline. The pro on the left side is getting my own place. The pro on the other side is moving back with family. Now the other papers fold in half, okay? Fold that motherfucker in half, right? And you're gonna put cons, right? On the left side. You're gonna put cons on the right side, you know, underline that. And then the cons on the left side, you're gonna go cons to being independent on my own and cons to moving back home with the family. And now, you know, here you decide. And then I also hear that you gotta get straight with your own finances in a line, because I just heard that at this time, as I'm like, you know, like whatever, like be more responsible in terms of if it's not savings or spending or something like that, it's like be more responsible with your position. So it's like, or your strength. So anyways, that's gonna go deeper. If you want a reading and all that kind of stuff and meet when I want to really want to go in and explore, that's it. But this is just for here. So, you know, where I'm gonna go in from here. But so I think that that's gonna be very helpful for you to do in terms of the decision that you are responsible and accountable and ready to make. Feel ready and confident, and so the goal here now is to be confident in the choice that you make. So work on that today by weighing out the pros and cons of each and really deciding and choosing, okay, what's it going to be for me? Because that's on you. Right? So what expectations do you have that are impossible to meet? The expectations we have are mostly delusional and impossible to meet. We then experience disappointment with ourselves or with a relationship when they are not met. It's time to dissolve your expectations and replace them with gratitude. Today's soul action, be fucking grateful, right? You are being summoned to more peace. Peace is home for our soul, and it is accompanied by trust. It comes when you surrender and focus only on what you can control. If you expect nothing and are grateful for everything, you will experience extreme fulfillment, right? Gratitude is like one of my, I'm schmoody. People think that, oh, because I am pretty much most times jolly and, like whatever the case may be, and like pretty, in my alchemy. But, there's certain behaviors that I have instilled in me, and it has been a practice of mine, and I can see the benefit of it for myself personally, having had time to really evaluate the process of progress and the time, like the way back in the day in school when we used to do history or social studies, and we did timelines on for school. And if we were to have a timeline of the things that we have put in, and when, what year, up until now, to really see the development of all the stuff that we have been nurturing and that we have been providing for ourselves on a deep emotional scale, being like putting in that work, and to see gratitude goes a fucking long way. Like, you can't be grateful and complain. So people that are complaining and yet claim grateful, they're disillusioned by I don't know what. Their yet inability to see their own position of responsibility and accountability in certain kind of things, that their distorted reality is cheating them or self-sabotaging them into being contradictive to that which what they say. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's you and all this. Look at it. What if it were easy? Right? So it's like getting out of our own fucking way. What if it were easy? What if it doesn't have to be hard? Call in the universe, the stars, the angels, and all their powers. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease. Call in grace and receive guidance. You are supported. List 10 possible ideals for your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. So find all your reasons to say yes to whatever decision you're going to make about the 2 choices that you abundantly and prosperously have at this moment in time in your life that you are responsible and accountable for, because whatever you are set to do, you are supported in all that you do. So have this confidence and truth in you to know I am divinely led, I am divinely guided, I am divinely supported. All I have to do is come to this space, a place of truth within my own being about what it is that I'm really seeing, and then I'm going to help myself move forward positively, because I know that I am divinely led, guided, and protected. And I know that as I consciously see these breeds of seeds that I'm sowing, I know that I'm going to continue glowing, growing, knowing, and that this too shall fucking pass. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's my message for you. So what's it gonna be? I'm excited to learn your decision too, because no matter your decision, as long as you make it in truth with you and not out of fear, then what you will be creating for yourself and manifesting for yourself, no matter the decision that you make, is exactly going to be the alchemy and alignment of that which you truly desire. But if you operate out of fear and lack there of clarity while making your decision, and you just go with conditioning, then, prepare for a bumpy ride. Because, that's just going to be the facts of life. Life is going to make you uncomfortable until you make yourself comfortable. And that's going to require you to really get into the deepest of your truths and choose for you without fear, knowing that it's always going to work itself out, no matter what the fuck happens.
Because guess what? I've survived up until this motherfucking part. And even though it has been a roller coaster, and even though it has, I'm still motherfucking here. I'm still working on making things clear. And I'm proud of myself for being this leveling of dope that I am. And instead of being so critical of me, I'm gonna have more compassion towards my journey. Because if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? Right? Well, I think that's it. I guess I you know, whatever. So Diamond, always and forever. Each moment with you feels like a dream to me. I don't know why that song came into my mind. I don't even know who sings it, but I know it's an old. That's like a. For me, that feels like my parents' generation, and I know I've heard it. That's why I know the words and the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. But maybe that's your parents' generation too, or not. Maybe they're older. I don't know. But there's much for you to consider and decide. But the choice is up to you at this time. Prosperous be your life, abundant be the choices that you have here for you to see. If you could just look at it from a gratitude point of accepting true realities, the points that you have, and the decision that you have to make at this time for yourself. What do you really want? Do you need a break from responsibility, and you're going to use this time to recalibrate and go back to another stage of conditioned life that can be triggering at some times, but you are going to go into it consciously, handling it, operating, and using this time to grow, evolve, and heal from even that kind of life? Or, and then give yourself a set time. Like if you're going to go back into your family zone, like give yourself a set time and stick to that time. Like whether it be 3, 6, 9 months, no more than that. Yeah, okay. No more than that. Yeah. But if you choose to work through your fears about your own ability to be independent, and successful too, in terms of believing in you, then by all means, then in that energy of truth and clarity for you, then you'll make the right decision for you and start believing in you and start feeling motivated and inspired to go out there and find your new place to live. That's gonna be for you, right? Your done, had expression of truth. That is gonna be your cave of recalibrate, success, abundance growing, because you believe in the best. But you got to put all that mental strain to rest. Alrighty? So, alright, you can symbolically cut all cords of fear that keep you stagnant or stuck, unable to make a decision clear. We cut all those cords. We erase that here. Moving on, my dears, to like this video, appreciate this video. Let me know about this video once you receive it, right? Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah, and that's what's up, right? And also know that there are no limits to the amount of times you can submit these secret code oracle questions at any given time. And I hope, you know, that you take with this the mana that is here. Eat the fucking mana, eat the fucking mana, eat the fucking mana, you know what I mean? And yeah, moving on. Okay. Yeah, thanks.